Job is now underway. Investigators sift through charred remains of a small plane trying to learn what went wrong. What caused the fiery crash that took 4 young lives? Good evening, everyone. I'm Jay Cashman.
And I'm Shannon Kay. Tonight, the painful pieces of an air tragedy are starting to be processed for the first time. And for the families and friends of the 4 young victims of the ill-fated flight, the pain is certainly immense.
Then there are the questions about what went wrong. We have live team coverage tonight. News Channel 5's Kristen Cadell is at the flight school the students attended in Melbourne.
We begin, though, with John Shaman live at PBIA with the very latest on the crash and the investigation. John?
Well, good afternoon, Shannon and Jay. Today is the beginning of really a long investigation. These investigations take anywhere from 6 months to a year to complete, and you can see right now there are emergency crews still out there on runway 10. Now, while the lead investigator from the NTSB told us this afternoon he's not going to speculate on what caused the crash now, he did say that the pilots were reporting problems at takeoff.
We have the left engine, we have the left wing, and we have the right engine. That is pretty much all we have left of the airplane.
Investigators begin the tedious job of sifting through the wreckage. The Piper PA-44-180 crashed on takeoff just after 6 last night. 4 people were on board. 3 died at the crash scene. The 4th died this morning at St. Mary's Medical Center. The plane had come into West Palm Beach from the Bahamas, where it had cleared customs and then refueled before heading down the runway.
The pilot did state that they were having an engine problem just prior to the crash.
The initial examination of the aircraft showed the left engine was not running at impact. There was no black box on the plane, but as a newer model aircraft, it did come equipped with computer chips that, if still intact, would be able to tell investigators how fast the plane was going and how much altitude it had gained before crashing.
We're documenting the entire scene, all the impact scars, the prop strikes, all that kind of stuff right now. We'll be looking at both engines to see if we can determine, how the engine quit running, why it quit running.
As the plane belonged to a Melbourne flight school, one thing investigators will look at is whether the instructor may have turned off an engine for student training purposes.
I can tell you that the engine was not rotating at all when it impacted the ground. Normally what a CFI will do is just pull power, and then, you still got the engine running. So we would have had evidence of that.
Back out live right now, you can see a wrecker just arrived on scene within the last hour, and they are pulling those engines away, sort of the key components in this investigation. We also just learned that computer chip on board the plane was found, a little bit melted, a little bit dirty, but perhaps salvageable. It will be sent up to Washington to help them with this investigation. Now, the NTSB investigator also telling us that the parents of one of the victims also came to the crash site this afternoon. He said he's seen it a lot of times before. It never gets easier for him, and he's been on this job for 30 years. We're live at PBI. John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.